Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast. Time to hashtag everything. We talk about all the fun, crazy stories on social media. From Instagram to Facebook, Twitter to Tumblr, or probably even Friendster. Join us each week as we explore the quirky side of social media. It's the Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast.
It's simple, such a sad song. The one that we rely on to get us.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast, brought to you today by Care Of, a vitamin subscription service that will deliver personalized vitamins straight to your door for a limited time only. If you go to takecareof.com and use the promo code SOCIAL30, you'll get 30% off of your first order. And I'll be talking a little bit more about Care Of at the first break. So welcome to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast. I am your host, Sarah, and I am happy to be with you again on this Wednesday. There's all sorts of things trending today. Of course, the NBA Finals, or Game 1 of the NBA Finals is happening tonight. Maybe it's over. I checked in a while ago. They were in the fourth quarter, so it might be over now. Depends on when you listen to this and when I get it posted. The Scripps spelling bee was today. There was all sorts of great social media posts about that. We'll be talking about that. Some celebrity social media news. We'll be talking about that. In fact, I think that's where we will start. And we'll start with a story about Lena Dunham, who recently posted a photo on Instagram that got a lot of attention. She happened to be completely nude in the photo, and the actress is no stranger to nudity or to controversy. She's in the news a lot, and people tend to either love her or hate her, or there doesn't necessarily seem to be much middle ground with her. But this post actually had a really good message to it and a really good cause behind it. I'm one of those who's not a huge fan of Lena Dunham, just my own personal preference, but I really actually liked what she said on this. So she posted the picture on Instagram. It is a picture of her. She is sitting outside. She is looking back over her shoulder. So, there's nothing inappropriately showing in the photo. It's her back. You can see a little bit of her rear end, of course, but she is completely nude, and she posted this to actually raise money. She says her caption was, "Any negativity that comes your way is just an excuse to love yourself even more, right? Comment below with a reason you love yourself. I'll go first. I'm a sober, accountable adult who still loves to get naked." She continued, "For every comment in the next week, I'll be donating $1 to @Friendly House LA, a residential program for women recovering from substance and alcohol addiction. So guys, be liberal with your self-praise." And so that is what she did. She posted this on... She posted this yesterday, and that was May 29th, and because she is a well-known figure, I'm sure she has plenty of followers. I don't know the exact number of her followers, but people responded, and in less than 24 hours, Dunham received over 25,000 comments on this post, including many from celeb friends and supporters. So that, I think, is just awesome. First of all, I love the message behind it that, body positivity is something that we all need to embrace more, and we can do that by saying what we like about our bodies. Instead of focusing on the negative, we can say, this is what I like about my body, and not just by my body, but me. What do I like about me? That could be physical, that could be mental, that could be spiritual. And so I love that she did that, and then I love that she tied it to a fundraiser for a residential program for women who are recovering from substance and alcohol addiction. I just really appreciate that, sometimes social media is just fun and silly, and sometimes it really can make a difference, and this seems to be one of those times. Comedian and Parks and Rec actress Retta commented, "I try to love unabashedly, even though I've had my heart broken more than I can count." And my favorite murder co-host Georgia Hardstark commented, "This is beautiful. I love my tenacity." Then Dunham shared some of her favorite self-love comments in her Instagram story. So let's see. Soko the cat says, I'm a sober, accountable, reliable adult, and I'm a great mama and girlfriend. I'm also very good at charades. Miss you, Baba. Kelly Summers Bryan commented, "I overcame a rare form of stage 4 cancer after being diagnosed at 39. I have immeasurable respect for all that my body went through." Orlando Bloom posted, "You're a genius. I'm a recovering, impulsive risk taker. I love my sincere and sometimes too sensitive heart." More 2D said, "I am a beautiful soul with an enormous, loving, compassionate, accepting heart who loves to play with dolls, toys, and all things miniature." Let's see. Claire Cetera said, "I too am now a sober, accountable adult who feels her feelings fully and doesn't accept crumbs from unavailable partners, but welcomes available, loving, communicative, emotionally available people into her life and enjoys creating art and music with them." And then Emmy Lane said, "I just had a second baby and everyone is fed, clothed, there is laughter in my house, and I've even showered every few days. I'm proud of all that." I love these. I love that people are owning what they are proud of. This is still going on. She said she would donate for a week, which is, yesterday was the first day, and she's already raised $25,000. So I think that's great. If you want to be a part of this, you can comment on Dunham's post on Instagram. You can always donate directly. If you go to Friendly House's website, you can do that. Just whatever you want. But definitely, even if you don't post or donate, take a few moments to think about what you love about yourself. Is it physical? Is it emotional? Like I said, is it spiritual? That's a really good thing. I know I personally focus on the things I don't like about myself. I'm not losing the weight I want to lose. I'm not exercising the way I want to. I could eat better. I could do this. I could. I should. I need to, etc. But I am loving and loyal and a fierce, dedicated auntie. I'm a fierce, dedicated puppy mom, too, for that matter, and bearded dragon mom. So what are the things you love about yourself? Definitely post on Dunham's Instagram post if you want to. I would love to hear them, too. I don't have anything going on right now in terms of a fundraiser, but hey, I think as much positivity as we can share with the world, the better. So if you want to tell me what you love about yourself, I would love to hear what you love about yourself. And while we're at it, let's share what we love about each other. Let's just make it a love fest. If you love something about someone that it could be a family member, it could be a coworker, tell them that. Tell them, hey, I appreciate how you X, Y, and Z, or I noticed that you tend to 1, 2, 3 ABC, and I think that is awesome. Share the love. That is my mantra for today. That is my mantra. It should be my mantra for life. I have a friend on social media. It's one of those funny friends that I've never actually met her in real life. She is a friend of a friend, and we got connected on Facebook through that friend of a friend. So now I consider her a friend, even though I've never met her, which is the fun and crazy thing about social media. But her hashtag is Love Wins, and she always tries to find where love is winning, how love is winning. She shared a story just the other day of how she was standing in line, and the guy next to her, they were waiting for their orders to be delivered, and he was just loudly complaining about how slow everything was. And they'd only been waiting, I think she said, less than 2 minutes. And what she really wanted to say was something snarky and snippy and possibly involving an F-bomb. But she just sort of sighed and stared into middle distance and said to no one in particular, "Waiting is hard, isn't it?" And she said his whole body language changed. And he looked at her and said, "Yes, waiting is hard." And he calmed down and engaged her in conversation and was fine after that. And their food was delivered not long after that. I mean, she said really it took less than 5 minutes for their food to come out. And he was kind to the server who brought his food. He said thank you. He was polite. So, love wins. Doesn't have to be anything major, but where do you see it? I would love to hear your stories about where you see love winning in the world. So thank you, Lena Dunham, for this post and for getting me to think about love and all of those wonderful things that come with loving yourself, loving others, loving the world. We are going to take our first break of the podcast. Before we do that, though, I do want to talk to you, as I said, about Care Of. As I mentioned, it is a vitamin subscription service. Or a vitamin delivery service. You go online to takecareof.com and take their easy 5-minute quiz. I did this. It is easy. They ask you great questions about your health goals, about your nutrition goals, what you're looking for in terms of, are you getting enough iron? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you having concentration issues? Those types of things. And then they put together this personalized package for you. You can also go through their catalog and choose other vitamins or protein powders that you think might be helpful. And then they deliver everything to your door. It's all organic ingredients. They have vegetarian and vegan options. They even have an app where you can track when you're taking your vitamins, those sorts of things. So it's a really great opportunity to get to figure out what you want in terms of vitamins and supplementing your nutritional and dietary intake. As I said before, for a limited time only, you can get 30% off of your first order if you go to takecareof.com and enter the promo code SOCIAL30. Again, that is takecareof.com, and the promo code is SOCIAL30. So we are going to take that break now. When we come back, we'll be talking more about some of the trending hashtags in terms of the NBA Finals and the Scripps Spelling Bee, so stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast, and I will be right back.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast. Before the break, we were talking about Lena Dunham and her Instagram post that has raised over $25,000 with its comments of positivity, and that is wonderful. I said that we would be switching attention to some of the live tweets that are happening around around Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the Toronto Raptors versus the Golden State Warriors. It is the first time that an NBA Finals game has been played outside of the U.S. They are in Toronto tonight. There was the game started with the usual singing of the national anthem by Jordan Smith, and then was followed by the singing of the Canadian national anthem, O Canada, by the tenors. So that was kind of fun. The Canadian crowd was very amped up. The commentators kept talking about how amped up they were, and you can't blame them. It's exciting to have that happen for the first time in Canada. So lots of tweets, of course, as people live tweet the event, live tweet the game, rooting for their team, talking about the players, etc. I'm not going to go into too much detail in case you, for some reason, have not been able to watch the game. I checked in periodically to see how things were going. And most of the time when I checked in, Toronto was up by at least 5, but I do not actually know the final result of the game. Not going to give that. So don't want to give any spoilers just in case you haven't seen it. But lots of, of course, when you have something like that, it's going to be trending. What I really love is that people were live tweeting the Scripps Spelling Bee. I mean, come on, that is awesome. The Scripps National Spelling Bee is okay. I did my segment last week on Merriam-Webster and their trending words. Well, even they have of course, they have tweets about the Scripps Spelling Bee, and they were saying that they love what words trend during the spelling bee because just crazy words, all of those things that I can't even pronounce half of them, let alone spell them. These kids are amazing. One quote, I love this tweet, being a human at RMUENCH 22 said, all of these kids of the hashtag spelling bee cheering each other on whilst being competitors really shows how much we suck as adults. Good for the sportsmanship, kids. I love that. I love that there's a bunch of tweets about, are we worried about these kids' bedtimes? That's sweet. Yeah, they need their brain sleep. They should go to bed. But I am amazed by the words. One tweet was great because it was commenting on, I can't find it now, but commenting on how the person doing the closed captions must just be hating life right now. I can only imagine. This one, Ivan Strong Moore says, if you're not watching the hashtag spelling bee, you're missing some high drama. Seriously, people are live tweeting the Scripps spelling bee, and that is fabulous. That is awesome for these kids who have fans. And yeah, they're just amazing. What else? One tweet I read earlier said that they suspected that that there was somebody who, in terms of giving the kids the definition, was just smashing their head against the keyboard because they weren't convinced that these were real words. There are some crazy words. I mean, yeah, me yelling at the hashtag spelling bee announcer all night. It's a gif from Friends. Monica yelling at Rachel saying, that's not even a word. Yeah, these kids are amazing, and they are my heroes because I'm a pretty good speller, but there's absolutely no way I could spell 90% of these words, and it's crazy. So I love it, and I am a nerd, but I am completely okay with being a nerd, and if somebody is bashing their face against the keyboard, well, more power to them, because those kids don't need the real definition. They can spell whatever you throw at them, and I love them. We are now in uncharted territory. We'll soon run out of words that can possibly challenge you. The most phenomenal assemblage of super spellers in the history of this storied competition. Awesome. That was 30 minutes ago, and that is a direct quote. So these kids are just amazing. In essence, the Scripps National Spelling Bee just admitted defeat to 8 middle schoolers who are so prepared they cannot be challenged any further. 8th graders spelling words that they at this point they should not be able to spell these, and now they are running out of words. This hashtag spelling bee might actually end in an 8-way tie. This is insane. Seriously, I think I may have to stop this podcast and go finish watching the spelling bee, because these kids sound freaking amazing, and I am. One tweet says, almost fought a guy at the bar who tried to turn off the spelling bee. Good for you. You fight for watching what you want to at the bar, even though the NBA finals are on. I bet that's probably what they were trying to turn it to. Basketball versus spelling bee. I'd be flipping back and forth. That's what I know. At any rate, I think that we shall go ahead and take that second break of the podcast. because otherwise I am going to just sit here and nerd fangirl over the spelling bee and the tweets that are coming out about it. So time to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at some more things that are trending, more stories on social media. So stay tuned. You are listening to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast, and I will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast. We are talking about lots of adults in this world who are amazing spellers. A nerd, and I like vocabulary, and I like that there are young adults in this world who are amazing spellers and who can spell words that I don't even know exist most of the time. So moving on. I promise I'm moving on. Let's move on to maybe some celebrity news. We spoke about Lena Dunham earlier. This next story is about Jenny Garth, who, of course, starred on the show 90210, the original, not the reboot. And, of course, Luke Perry was in the news several months back after he died early, way too early. And so she posted on her Instagram yesterday a sign that says McKay Road, and her caption just said, "Sometimes there are just signs." Of course, Luke Perry played Dylan McKay on 90210, which was on from 1990 to It was on longer than that. He played on the series from 1990 to 1995, and then again from 1998 to 2000. And Garth played the actor's on-screen girlfriend, Kelly Taylor. She is currently in Vancouver, British Columbia, filming the show's upcoming revival, BH 90210. I think that's hilarious that they're filming 90210 in Vancouver, British Columbia, but that's how these things work. So she posted that, and she said, "Sometimes there are just signs." In this case, it's an actual street sign. So it's lovely to see actors and friends of people, remembering co-stars, remembering friends, because we do still remember them even after they are gone. And just because he was a celebrity doesn't mean that he did not have friends who love and miss him. Our next story is actually from America's Got Talent. This showed up a bunch of times on different social media feeds that my friends were posting. It is a young man who was led onto the stage by his mother. He is both blind and autistic, and he said that he was there to sing and play the piano. So he had some of the typical reactions of someone who is on the spectrum. There was some rocking, that's comforting for some people with autism. But his name, I forgot to mention his name, is Cody Lee. When he sat down at the piano, though, his entire demeanor changed. His body language relaxed. He was confident. He was still. He started to play, and then he started to sing, and it was truly amazing. The judges were in tears. People were posting how they got goosebumps. He's really amazing, and his family was so happy and so proud. And he was actually pretty. I liked listening to him react to the judges, and he was excited to be there. But his mom said that. She said, Cody is blind and autistic. We found out that he loved music really early on. He listened and his eyes just went huge. And when he started singing, that's when I was in tears, because that's when I realized, oh my gosh, he's an entertainer. Through music and performing, he was able to withstand living in this world, because when you're autistic, it's really hard to do what everybody else does. It actually has saved his life, playing music. And I love that. If we're going with the theme of love wins, I love that he has found what makes him happy, what clearly brings him joy, what helps him to center himself in a world that can be overwhelming for people who have autism. And I can only imagine that being autistic and being blind presents unique challenges all on its own. So he did get the what is it called? The golden buzzer? Yes, the golden buzzer. Gabrielle Union is a new judge this season, and she hit that golden buzzer for the first time and sent him on straight to the finale. So her quote, her tweet is, "I know I'm not alone when I say that @CodyLeeRocks will change the world and inspire millions. #AGT premiere." And that is wonderful. So looking forward to seeing how he does in the finale, because it was a lot of fun to watch him, and he was pretty phenomenal. I like this next story because, frankly, I just like the title and then the picture below it. Bride includes rescue dogs in her wedding to raise awareness about adoption. The animal-loving couple wanted to make a cute statement at their wedding. It's a kind of a typical wedding picture. The bride, the groom, the attendants, they're in a field. But, and actually the men are all lined up, kind of like, you normally have the groom, then the groomsman. The bride is to the right of the groom, at least or to the left of the groom. But then all of the bridesmaids are holding leashes and holding dogs. So their side of the picture is a lot more spread out and a lot more casual. So instead of flower bouquets, Sally Berkey had her bridesmaids walk down the aisle with dogs in need of a home. I love this. This is so sweet. She decided that she was going to have a wedding that really was her style. And so she had her bridesmaids walk down the aisle with adoptable shelter dogs. She's quoted as saying, "Initially, my husband and I discussed having our own dogs in the wedding, but after thinking about that, I thought, how neat would it be to have animals that need homes instead of ours?" So she reached out to Haven of the Ozarks Animal Sanctuary in Washburn, Missouri, to see if they would be willing to share some of their adoptable dogs for her wedding on May 11th. Shara Ferris, the director of the no-kill shelter, had previously shared dogs for another adoption event at a wedding and said she was more than happy to help Berkey spotlight dogs needing a forever home. "We have about 110 dogs at any given time," she said. "I waited until about 7 days before the wedding, and I picked dogs I knew could handle the stress of the new environment and can handle being around other dogs and strangers." So then on the big day, the dogs were driven to the wedding. It was a little more than an hour away from the shelter, and they became members of the wedding party. They didn't go to the rehearsal. I hope they did okay. So each bridesmaid linked arms with the groomsmen and had an adorable dog on a leash walking down the aisle alongside them. You can only imagine the reactions this is getting on social media, because it's adorable. I didn't even like dogs growing up. I am a recent convert, and now I'm just like, oh, puppies, I want the puppies. Yeah, anyway. The bride said that the fact that they were rescue dogs really hit a spot with people. And she also dedicated part of her reception to the dogs who were part of the day. She and her husband, Carrie Berkey, used their dollar dance to raise money for Haven of the Ozarks and their mobile adoption events. She said that ever since we started dating, dogs, rescues, kittens is something he has always been a huge supporter of. She said of her now husband. The couple have a pit bull mix, a German shepherd, and a cat at home. So let's see what people are definitely going to be interested in doing this, said the the representative of the shelter. Shelters want their animals to find homes. The whole mindset is adoption, so we can save more. So hopefully this raised some awareness, and all of those little puppers have found their forever homes and are just getting loves and scritches and everything you could possibly want. I love it. Love wins. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. We're going to end on, maybe we should have ended on the puppy story because it was so darn cute, but we are going to instead end on a sort of silly eye-rolling note. And that is IHOP is changing its name again. Apparently they're having another identity crisis. Do you remember a while back when they changed it from IHOP to IHOB, International House of Burgers? That was brief. They changed it back. But the change, it turned out, was simply to promote the pancake chain's new burger offerings, but the bait and switch marketing ploy left a terrible taste in people's mouths. Yeah, because IHOB just sounds like you have a cold. So now it's 2019, and apparently that fiasco wasn't enough to make them rethink doing this again, because on Tuesday, that was the 28th, the chain tweeted out a mysterious announcement. And it's, what could the P be? Find out June 3rd. IHOP, which is already IHOP, appears to be testing the waters with a new name, IHOP, where the P is a small p instead of a capital P. Okay, all right. Last year, the internet had a lot to say about IHOB. Well, we heard you. Stay tuned for June 3rd, the tweet read. An accompanying video also hinted that IHOP had heard the numerous complaints about its 2018 burger announcement, including those that urged the company to stay in your lane and stick to pancakes. Oh, now people are coming out with all kinds of... The very first one is inappropriate. And I'm not going to say it because it's inappropriate and this is a family podcast, but yeah, I'm not going to that IHOP, that's for sure. Somebody said International House of Pretzels, International House of Pizza, and then somebody posted a GIF from Soylent Orange. It's people! Gross. If you don't know Soylent Orange, then go look it up and then you'll find out, but it is people. Anyway, the possibilities are endless. What do you think the P might stand for? I can only imagine. And you can bet that I will be updating you after June 3rd when they make this announcement, and we find out if it really is. Maybe it's great, or maybe we'll all be rolling our eyes once again. On that note, thank you so much for joining me for the GSMC Social Media News Podcast. Join me again next time when we'll be seeing what's trending on the internets. Thanks.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Social Media Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.